awful blue light, but
Good
that's all right.
morning,
It works better. Good
everyone.
morning.
It's the 14th of January, 2026. And good morning to everyone. I'm coming from Central Florida. Please put in the chat where you're watching from. And we're going to be talking to James Dawkins this morning. Let me go. Good morning, Dr. Kiltz.
Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Another perfect day in God's universe. So for us to learn and create all together now.
Absolutely.
And hashtag KMT for a chance to win what, Alia?
A t-shirt.
Okay.
And
You gotta
just a reminder on the Tampa meetup. It's in 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Tickets are going fast. I'm going to put the link in the chat, but it's also, you can find it anywhere.
So we have a full day of things on the 7th, but
That's
also
right.
if you get a VIP ticket, a dinner in a
there's only
very
10 of
special
those
place
left.
in Sarasota.
That's right. There's only 10 tickets left for the dinner at that special place at Dr. Kiltz's house.
Are you coming? Are you coming, James?
I am. Yep.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Yay.
Always love community. Obviously love eating red fatty meat all the time.
All righty. So, James, let's have you introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, why you're here this morning, your story of healing.
Yes.
Go
Well,
ahead.
thank you for having me, number one. I am an enthusiast in the space of what we call carnivore today, but it goes without saying. This is because of the proper and powerful healing that it has brought my life. I would not be inspired to discuss anything with any of you, or vice versa, with you thankfully having me today, without this powerful healing of eating proper food. So 2 years and 3 months ago, I started a carnivore journey for me, eating meat and eggs. And now I've journeyed into the lion space where I'm eating just ruminant meats. But from depression, from anxiety, from diabetes, I was called pre-diabetic, but I don't really think that counts because it's on the same spectrum. I've erased those elements in my life, and now I've learned to live in confidence. I've learned to love things. These are the core elements to life that I really appreciate about a carnivore journey. Things I didn't ever receive nearly to any capacity when I was a fruitarian, when I was a vegan, when I was vegetarian, when I was pescatarian. So keto, all these things in life just really achieved greatness. And I say greatness from the standpoint of just like life, love, a willingness to achieve through eating red fatty meat.
Very good.
I was. Can I just sort of throw something out there? I've been looking a little bit at the new dietary triangle, which I equate a little bit to the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
It's an addition, but not a completion, no doubt about it. And then I was listening to oh my God, who's the main Harvard guy, Willits, nutritionist that claims that really a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet in others, and the major nutritional boards of the countries around the globe are still showing that a plant-based diet is healthier than an animal-based diet. And I'm wondering if that is still part of the propaganda of controlling the masses more than real truth. And I guess the question is, are we here to live a long time or a healthy, productive time? And would you rather live longer on drugs and doctors and dietary dissections, or live shorter and reclaim the truth and the warriors we really are?
The warriors we really are. Absolutely. Health spans over lifespans. I would rather live a full life into my mid 60s, call it, instead of a troubled life into where I believe you're approaching now, which is the 70-year mark, Dr. Kiltz. And that's awesome for you, by the way, because you're just vibrant. But back to your question, we are sicker as a globe. And obviously the numbers, the math doesn't math. If we want to consider that we have 8+ billion people on the earth and nearly 40% have metabolic disease, and of those who are dying is because of any modern disease related to metabolic disease, that's an alarm flag. So I don't want that. I don't want to see what happened to my dad continue with myself. I don't want to see what happened to my uncle continue with myself, and I go down the line. I don't want to see what happened to my best friend who died at 61 years old. Happened to everybody else. So these are, to answer your question, I have seen the ending of life, and I have seen the struggle up until that point, and I don't want anything to do with that.
A friend of a friend was in a motorcycle accident, and it doesn't look survivable.
Oh wow.
I thought about it, and I said, doing something you love to do versus sitting on a couch and taking pills and being careful. Is our life really meant to be careful, or is it meant to be creative?
Good question. Another good question. I'm sure you have them all queued up. These are great. Our life is meant to be creative. I am not going to wake up and be timid. I'm not going to wake up and stay in bed. I'm not going to wake up and not, especially now that, as we've discovered in the keto carnivore space, not go out and fulfill movement in my life. I'm not going to go out and fulfill sunlight in my life. So these are areas where, the risk reward is really in favor of going out and doing things, because most of us aren't going to, unend in a car accident, even if we really tried. I'm not saying I'm making it very skeptical here, but even if we really tried. But what you can achieve is actually going out and trying to succeed at life, and going out and doing what you want to do and achieve what you want to aim to achieve, and then get somewhere closer to that. You will have a better chance of achieving that than versus like, I'm okay. People often say I'm going to end myself. Oh, Mark is on here. Mark is, I don't want to say this in a bad way, because Mark is an awesome coach. But if people are like, I'm going to try to end myself, that's very different than I'm going to try to better myself. The betterment side almost always achieves.
Well, and I believe suicidality, criminality, depression, anxiety are all plant protein, low fat, 3 to 6 meal a day diseases. So if I feed a lion like a sheep, they become depressed lions, which think they're a sheep. And that's part of the problem here. You're called to be a warrior in life. We're not called to be a whip. And so we're not going out there to purposely hurt or harm anyone, but we're here to truly support a better life and creative life and a lion's life. And that's a lot of what you call primal. Well, what do you mean by primal, James? What does primal mean?
Yeah, living a primal life in a modern day isn't really acceptable mentally by a lot of people. But primal means eating the right foods. It means getting outside. It means the workouts that I do fit a primal lifestyle of persistence hunting. So we didn't just chase uh, like Usain Bolt in 12 seconds and get our kill. That would be nice, but we didn't. And our food was elusive. So translating that into my workouts, it's never going to be just a all-out sprint for 12 seconds and then rest. Let's go for 3 minutes, and that's going to be all-out effort and then a 1 minute rest. Let's stay out in the sun for the next 5 hours today, walking in the park after my workout, for example. That's primal. Let's eat only when necessary. Am I really hungry, or am I being cued by other people having food with me? That's a primal lifestyle to me. So that's where I leave it with primal. It's the basics. It's not very complex, and that's not a bad thing. Not over inundated with modern day technology.
At one point, the masters of the universe created a story of easy, comfortable, and let's collect the grains and put them in a granary. And then I guess we had to create armies, slaves, soldiers, and peasants to control and protect, and then exploit through exploration, through the, I think they call it the Columbian, I don't know what the rest of the word is. I know I got it on the tip of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But the Columbian exploration of the world, basically Columbus, but it had been done even before that. It just, the traveling across the waters to create more granaries and grasseries in order to now get us smoking marijuana and dope and cigarettes and drinking alcohol, which ultimately, from time to time in small amounts infrequently may be okay, but every day is a deadly exploration. And any comments on sort of our industrially produced ancient granaries and how they're killing us?
Yes, absolutely. Humans can handle starvation foods or drinks in small amounts. And I think that vegetation is the starvation food. It has become a staple because, and really only because, it's cheap, efficient, and replicable within a season versus raising an animal for a number of years. And I understand where that comes from, but when we talk about optimal nutrition or talk about bioavailability to humans, yeah, grasses aren't it, grains aren't it, and it's clearly showing in our overall health across the world. But I do want to paint a broad picture in response to your question here, which is we can all go to our yards. The grass is here all year long, and we can all just go sit there and eat grass if we wanted to eat plants. And we don't do that. It doesn't taste good to humans. We would probably have a very repulsive reaction if we did that successively over time. There's not a surprise that gluten allergens exist to me with humans, because we're not really supposed to eat these, I want to say proteins, but also just in general, any foods from the plant kingdom. Not to say that it can't be consumed, but it has clearly wrecked our health.
And so, but it's somewhat, it must be that we're more like a bear and an omnivore, so that in the late summer and fall, with the ripe and sweetness of the plants, we became hyperphagic in order to get fat enough to survive hibernation, migration, gestation, and famine. And so we're living our ancient way to get fat for the fall, winter, but we're really living it every single day. And that's why stress and cortisol are all on the rise, and our lifestyles are killing us because we did not have this in nature naturally until humans decided to control nature instead of being part of nature.
Great call. Great call. Yeah, anything with human involvement is negative for human health, for food. And we can go as short as enriched and fortified foods. We can go as medium as concentrated ingredients from foods. And we can go as long as processed foods, the obvious one. And so I just circle back to say that when humans eat food that's influenced by other humans, we have a negative health outcome. When humans eat foods intended for humans, we have a positive health outcome. That's my overall takeaway. I think it's pretty clear and obvious in the world today. I think we've had the last 100 years, clearly well beyond that, but even in the last 100 years, it's easy to look at and assess that what's happening with our
We lost James for a minute.
He froze there for a second. Dr. Kiltz, I have a question for you. Was listening to a podcast, vegans versus carnivores. There were some arguments there. Very nice, not argument in the sense that we're fighting, but one of the claims from the people on the opposite side of the spectrum was
the plant side. The plant side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the arguments from one of them was, well, we don't need food. What we need is nutrients, and it doesn't matter where they come from. So there are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates in plants. We don't need to necessarily get them from animals. What do you think?
Well, that's a true statement, that you can get nutrients from plants, but since plants are we got you back, James. Hold on. Good. But so let's add James back. There we go. So plants or animals can be consumed by humans. Animals as food do not contain toxins like plants do, and so there are no human cultures that have thrived and survived for years, thousands of years, without some animal source of food.
Right.
And now in the modern world, a supplement in order to make sure you're getting all your nutrients, which means that you need an industrial company that's going to feed you like a domesticated animal. And so
well said.
It is true you can eat plants and you can eat animals. You likely can thrive and survive with animals only, but you cannot thrive and survive on plants only without some supplement, drug, doctor dissection in that sense. So, you can live a long life on a plant-centric diet, and you could live a long life on an animal-centric diet. I don't think, we're not here to say you got to do anything one way or another. Your choice, your experimentation. And the beauty with what we're sharing here is that we can talk about this and create stories that help individuals. Are we here to claim it's been supported in prospective randomized double-blind placebo-controlled studies? I take the Bible any day over Scientific America.
I agree. I agree. And I'd say that I respond with food was never science. It never was intended to be. It never was. So how can it be today if it was never intended to be science in the first place? Food is food. If we want to be honest, we are animals and we eat the foods that we need to eat. If we want to be honest with ourselves, we can also, in my take of it, of our view of our humanity, which is we don't rely on monocropping. I know other civilizations have, like you mentioned, Dr. Kiltz, but if we want to get back to the roots of a primal lifestyle, and I'm going to use that word intentionally, we wouldn't go out to our backyard and say, "I'm going to eat the grass." We wouldn't go roam and with animals and eat the grass. We would go hunt. And anything that when we were hungry during an extended fast, I do think we would call out and say, okay, well, we can eat this now. It's a starvation food. So, yes, to answer your question, ultimately, we sheep and peasants in the sense of being fed through human processing. Yes. I don't want to be part of that. I was part of it, and it's on to a new direction at this point.
Would you stand here and claim that being a carnivore is absolute and everyone should be that?
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, not a carnivore in the standpoint of what today's standard is. Yes, because we are so lost in what modern food is today. So if we want to talk about modern carnivore as being 70% plus of animal meats plus other foods, yes, I do think that all of humanity could benefit. We want to talk about vegan, vegetarian lifestyle, and I do value what was mentioned in the latest USDA food guidelines, at least calling out the potential for undernourishment or malnourishment on that on that vegan vegetarian lifestyle. I do think it's appreciate calling that out, because that is a form of having to accumulate 15 to 20 different plants if someone's doing it honestly, enriched in fortified foods as well, including tofu in a sense. Even tofu, I'm not knocking the lifestyle, but it's relying on an industry and a system in a sense that's human related, human involved, to get the proper nutrients. And even then, it still involves taking concentrated, isolated forms of vitamins, minerals, micronutrients.
Curious about heart healthy foods in a label from the American Heart Association. And I don't know if you have much knowledge about this, James.
You mean
Maybe Dr. Nelson.
labels on a box or
Well,
a bag?
So how do those labels get on those boxes, bags, or cans?
The labels are all marketing because they are able to lower cholesterol, in air quotes. And that is the worst thing that a human needs is lower cholesterol, in my opinion. And I can say that from me having higher cholesterol, my doctor or my visits and my physicians telling me, watch your cholesterol. But why? I feel better. But why? You just told me that I look better, that my blood markers are great, and then just watch your cholesterol. And also, what are you doing to get there? I'm eating meat, a lot of meat. Oh, don't do that. No. How do you give me a positive as a response to what you're witnessing? And then I give you the prompt of that, and then you're going to flip that on a negative. No, that's not how it works. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing to get that positive response from the physician or from myself. Ultimately, that heart healthy on the box is just marketing. If food needs food noise and food marketing, then go the other way. It doesn't. You don't need to eat it.
All right, we have a few questions, Alia.
Yes, we do. Let's see here. Should I be taking iodine and or vitamin D during extended fast? No slow.
I don't see why not. You can continue taking the supplements you were taking. Some people decide if they're doing a fast not to take anything, but what do you think, Doctor? What do you think, James and Dr. Kiltz?
Dr. Kiltz, are you gonna go? I'm not really.
Well, okay. So I don't know that answer. I mean, as an absolute, people take iodine, they take vitamin D. Dr. Nelson, where's the prospective randomized study that has really proven this without a company that sells or markets these things?
Don't know the answer to that. But
Yeah,
my answer is if that's what you're taking, this is something you're already doing, you can continue to do it during your fast. I don't see.
I agree with you, by the way, that you're on a fast of food, but whether you're on medications or supplements, I would say in general, those don't count as food. Yeah. And so, you're not eating them, consuming them all day. Now, energy bits, spirulina and chlorella. Thank you. If you consume those all day, now it's really a food.
It's food. Yeah.
I mean, small amounts, which provide a lot of minerals and vitamins, along with some food. You got to decide if you consider that breaking your fast. I think small amounts as a supplemental idea is not likely, and maybe might even be the same as you take your liver pills. Small amounts as a supplement, but not as your food. I would say, vitamin D, K2, and iodine are okay.
Alia?
Good morning, all. James, may I ask, when you were vegan, was it for health or some other reason? And as a carnivore, what do you eat and do you treat?
Hey, Alia, by the way, I've not got a chance to say hi to you when we went live, but hello.
No worries. Hello.
I ate vegan. Actually, I entered a vegan lifestyle because of marketing, mainstream marketing, and because that's what I believe to be healthy. And I will say I was undernourished. I thought I was being sexy, taking my shirt off, and like my lower portion, my pants didn't fit anymore, and I was like, this is awesome. I am so hot. And I couldn't see anything from the difference now, or the opposite now, of how undernourished I was, because I did vegan properly. When I say properly, thank you, Dr. Kiltz, giving air quotes.
Quotes.
Yeah, which is I'm going to eat the plants. I'm not going into anything else. I'm not going into the enriched and fortified food, as I alluded to earlier. And shoot, I could not run to save my life. I could not work out the way that I enjoy to save myself from myself. And I was in so much pain. My bones were brittle and hurt. That's a fact. So this isn't the vegan version of supplementing that is required. That's why I'm so appreciative of what I see in the modern or updated food guidelines as soon as this week that were released, as far as making sure you get proper supplementation, because that's necessary. Because I veganed properly. I went without supplements and I did the plants, and the plants didn't do it for me. And I won't talk to any other humans, but golly, I was struggling. So to transition really quick over is, as the carnivore, I'm now lion. I'm eating ruminant meats, mostly beef. I love lamb as well. As far as those two animals, fish is included occasionally, but I'm not going to shy away from all animal foods and thriving.
It's really difficult because we've been so masterfully mentally manipulated that this idea of who and what you eat, what should be. Like meat is bad for you. And the subconscious mind has a difficult time with only eating meat. I don't even care whoever you are, right? And so the plant paradox has been so powerfully purposed into our mind. Again, we're just simply we're slave soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. We're manipulated by the masters of the message. But I guess you would say maybe is why don't you give 3 months of plants only, 3 months of animal only, and then 3 months of both. Let's do the science on yourself.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, exactly, Dr. Kiltz. I mean, throw out the studies. They don't matter at all, because if a study truly mattered to those who trust in them and those who want to quote them and refer to them, is the study, are you submitting yourself to the study? If my own human experience is invaluable to you, the study person, then also you are laying yourself underneath that own study. That what you have achieved can't happen or can't be successful, can't be a positive outcome, can't be an actual outcome, because that's not what the study showed. Now, there are studies that exist in the world that probably use proper science, that use I use the word proper science, which means like ultimately, okay, there you go. Thank you. I'm trying to define it. It's very difficult. So that, but anyway, use tactics that are very authentic to an authentic result instead of just picking and choosing numbers. Like you can go from absolute to a relative risk, and a relative risk can remain the same. A relative risk can remain the same from 1 out of 10. If you have 2 people in a control and 3 people in your experimental group out of 10, that's going to be the same amount of change all the way to 1 million and 1 billion and 1 trillion.
Well, I always go to Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. Our thoughts create all things. Thoughts are things. And so I do a scientific experimentation, but I already have a basic belief of what the truth is. I mean, again, it's rare for any of us to go into a scientific experiment completely unbiased because we're doing it for some fame, some financial gain, or some fertility gain.
Yes, Primal Health Box. Selena, love you back. Selena is great with the Carnivore Community Worldwide group. I want to say that yes, I mean we have to really lean into our human biology. A study isn't it. Our ancestors didn't thrive on studies at all. They didn't exist. Our ancestors didn't survive on fiber. Our ancestors didn't count calories, and our ancestors didn't require, again, on studies. So I do agree that none of this really matters in a sense of you want to talk about overall health. Go ahead and invite people who have joined a carnivore lifestyle and that are out about it on social media, and ask these people to join your 6-month study or 2-year study on reversing disease, because we are showing it, including Selena, whose comment was just on, of reversing modern ailments, modern diseases with little medical intervention. Or getting healthy with little medical getting pregnant with little medical intervention, Dr. Kiltz, as you have helped so many. That's the proof. That's the study that we should all focus on.
Carnivore, think of carnivore as a therapeutic reset and healer for the human diseases. Start there, even if you don't even believe in the carnivore diet. If you're sick, and you simply go to the carnivore lifestyle, which is fatty meat, fasting and faith, that's really the direction we're talking about, right? Claim that at least as the therapeutic modality, but it should everyone at least do 30 days of carnivore?
Yes, I believe so. Like you asked earlier, and I want to double down on that, if not triple down, which is every human can benefit from a carnivore lifestyle. And does that mean 100% meat? Does that mean lion? No, let's be clear. But the human biology is made to eat meat and a limited amount of plant foods and definitely not processed foods. So yes, of course, and that lends into fasting as well. I say feasting leads to fasting. If you can only really fast if you have proper nutrition in the first place. If a human doesn't have proper nutrition, they should not be fasting because they're already malnourished. But we're not also intended to eat every 2 hours of the day.
I'm starting my 4th day today of fasting at noon. I start my 4th day of fasting at noon today. And I'm going 5 to 7. I haven't decided yet. It's going to be 5 at least. And I feel great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel amazing. And have you incorporated fasting into your life primal experience?
I haven't. I am very active, so I would say that may be a reason why. Some people's definition of fasting is every 24 hours. So yes, if that is included in your, someone's definition, then yes, I've fasted many times because I've had 1 meal a day. I'm consistent with 2 meals a day, partly to answer the question from Faith Focused Food Freedom, but hopefully we're able to answer it more clearly. But yes, fasting is interesting to me because I'll go wake up and go throughout the day and realize, oh, I haven't eaten yet. That's okay because we're properly fueled with meat, animal-based foods. For me, meat, and it's like, all right, I'll go the next X number of hours and see how I feel. So yes, there's been times where I've gone 36 hours without food, unplanned, very consistently as well.
Faith Focused Food Freedom asks, what triggered you to become a carnivore and what health benefits have you experienced?
Yes, Dr. Nelson. I was triggered when I didn't want to buy new clothes. All my clothes stopped fitting. And I was hanging out on the couch and I was extremely furious and frustrated with myself and said, I'm not buying new clothes. So that was the day where I made the change, but also it was the mental side of things. I was being out with my friends and having mental fatigue. It was being out even with myself and asking the simple questions of critical thinking, which are, why do I feel tired? Why don't I feel myself? And what am I doing that's not working? So I had to dissect back in time, year over year. What did I do last year? Well, I ate a lot of fast food. What did I do the year before that? More fast food. And then what did I do 5 years before that? Well, I was vegan. These are the things where I have to assess. And then where was I 15 years ago when I accidentally fell into carnivore in college and I ate stew meat and eggs every day and I felt great. And I did that for a year while I lived alone. I didn't have much distraction in my life. So that, to answer your question, Faith Focused Food Freedom, which is, it was looking back in time and saying I felt the best when I ate just stew meat and eggs 15 years ago. And that's how I found you, Dr. Kiltz.
Fat and adipose tissue is the only fuel for the human body. And so on my 15 days fast and Dr. Nelson's 22-day fasting, Dr. Nelson, did you lay on the couch all the time?
No, no.
I went to work. I flew my airplanes. I did hikes. I did operations. 15 days, no food. And so it's in an environment of food around all the time. We're just, it takes a lot of power to fast, but it's mental power, which gives us power over all things.
Mm-hmm.
What's your practice on spirituality?
I think they froze.
Or
Dr. Nelson?
religions
Dr.
or mindset?
Oh,
Can
maybe
you
it's me.
tell us a little bit about how you incorporate those into your primal lifestyle?
Go ahead.
Dr.
Go ahead,
Nelson,
James.
are you going to respond?
No. Go ahead, James.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, I guess to cap off the previous question really quick is the benefits are amazing, unmatched mentally, physically. And to get to that, as far as the benefits of a carnivore diet, I wanted to answer your question now, Dr. Kiltz, which is, as you say, I am the master. That is so true at this point. I have reclaimed my life, emphasis on mine. Nobody else owns it. There is no one coming to save me. I can't sit down and go down and pray as much as I want and get what I don't achieve. And that's what carnivore has really helped me see or renewed perspective on that. So I now have a sense of self-management, of not delaying, just get things done and make proper decisions for the best outcome. And a lot of times decisions aren't difficult. Critical thinking is not difficult. It's just making that right decision, asking the right question. And so that's where I'm at. I'm not a very religious, if you want to speak to that term. I'm not a very religious human because I have somewhat seemed to found it in all of us. What's the best side of you, Dr. Kiltz? Alia, what's the best side of you? Dr. Nelson, the best side of you? And that's how we become better.
Religion is a human system of beliefs, practices, and cultural systems relating people to the sacred, spiritual, or divine. I call it realignment. And ultimately, humans around the globe are very religious and spiritual as a context to help us find something to a greater level. And with the primal lifestyle that I see you're doing is actually elevating us all to a collective mindset of improving.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do agree, but also I do think in general, whether it's our food system or whether it's modern religion in general, there is a level of not being able to have master control. And I think that's where I'll speak to myself and not for others, but I think there's a level of reaching master control of your own life in order to achieve maximum potential. I don't think what I do want to say is that ultimately it's like, look, if it comes to religion specifically, go ahead and ask for forgiveness. Go ahead and ask for gifts. Ask for. Go ahead and repent for. It's never control. And that's where that's why I say it's within us. We need to control our own lives. Yes.
And yet we're not doing this in isolation. We're doing it in a collective conversation.
Yes.
And so when I use the word realignment religion, we're doing it together, because doing it in isolation it is not our nature. We're a herd collective organism. It's gotten too big in some ways, and that's why, the whole intention here is not to have millions of followers. It's not. It's to have infinite co-leaders of individually leading lives. And, we're inspired to listen to you, be drawn to your ideas, which you have learned from others, which, it all kind of goes back to our ancient infinite brothers and sisters that have shared a conversation of lion-like rather than sheep-like. And I would say the philosophy of Jesus Christ is a lion, not a sheep.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for saying that. And part of my journey is from you, Dr. Kiltz, and Dr. Nelson, Alia. I'm sure that ties in your influence to Dr. Kiltz. So we all play into each other. I love it. And like you mentioned, Dr. Kiltz, is that I do hope that we continue this, or I can continue this myself, because of what I've learned from everybody else here. Because I've learned, for those who aren't on this call at the time, it's a continual journey of ownership of health, ownership of life, ownership of self and mentality. There's a non-negotiable ownership that brings success to life. It is through actions that bring success to life. It's not about the thinking. I think I want to be this person in life, and we don't do it. We don't have the action to it. As all the thought had no purpose except for just a little thought, a bubble in our own head. So ultimately, that's what I came down to by being on a carnivore diet, by replenishing my own health, by eating properly. The mental aspects have really strengthened the motivation and self-clarity and the confidence to live life to the most.
Questions, Alia?
Yep. Let's see here. Did you already answer this? My internet went out for a second.
We haven't answered that one.
Okay. Julia Reed, is there a risk of gout or higher uric acid levels with keto carnivore? Dr. Nelson.
Well, actually, I want Dr. Kiltz to answer the question about risk, because he has a beautiful answer for that. But yeah, you could. Some people experience one last attack, so to speak, but a lot of people have put this in remission, going carnivore and even very low carb. But Dr. Kiltz, is there a risk?
Well, let's see. So there's a risk to everything in life, no matter what your diet lifestyle is. It's just a different risk. But in general, gout is a disease of a plant protein, low animal fat, 3 to 6 meal diet in general. If you go carnivore, fatty meat, by the way, and I think it's fatty meat and fasting. You feast and fast. You eat less frequently, add more fat. You are going to reduce your risk of gout, if not clear it up completely, if you suffered, and reduce the risk completely. But I think I see too many carnivores eating a lean meat diet, overcooked, low fat, which then, uric acid levels rise in a high protein, low fat diet, and can continue a risk of gout. But carnivore, keto, much lower risk of gout and clearing up significantly.
Next.
Let's see here. Dr. Nelson, what point can we make to a vegan that is more concerned about the environment than their health, really concerned for family members being an example with good health doesn't work?
It concerns me that some people may have the misguided notion that it doesn't matter if I get sick, but I'm not going to eat that. Okay. many ethical considerations of vegans, unfortunately, are misguided. They're fallacies. For example, the number of animals that die from extensive monocropping, it's huge. And just because, I may eat the equivalent of one cow a year, I'm not going to, because of mistreatment of animals. Now, some people have religious beliefs, and because of their religion, they might be vegan or vegetarian. We have a whole subcontinent of people in Asia, right? That if they are of a certain religion, they don't eat any meat. I respect that probably a little bit more than the ethical consideration, because many of those ethical considerations are actually fallacies. What do you think, James?
I agree with what you've just mentioned. I think monocropping is not natural. For those eating an avocado every day right now in January 2026, it is not natural. That because they just haven't grown anywhere in the world, even on the southern hemisphere, because I'm in the northern hemisphere, just for reference, because I know you have a global audience. So think about the things that we're eating. Monocropping has really driven all the nutrients out of the soil. We're using fossil fueled, what's the word I'm looking for? I lost my train of thought here, but we're using fossil fuels in monocropping ultimately, whether it's from the fertilizer. That's the word I'm looking for.
Some argue that there's more contamination from that than cow farts.
So, well, it should be
Cows are
everybody.
killing the world. Has nothing to do with human warmongering and drug delivery and exploration and exploitation of humans. And plants, by the way, are live organisms, and they control us.
Yes, absolutely. So I do agree with even the latest comment that's written, that entire ecosystems are destroyed through monocropping. And I think Dr. Kiltz, you on a recent video, I think with Dr. Bickman, we're talking about distance of food travel with plants as well. I mean, look, we have 20, 30 odd plant foods available. And I say plants, that means vegetables and fruits in the grocery store. And that is really just a minuscule portion of all the plant life available in the world. And so a lot of humans are relying on these foods that have traveled 1,000 to 3,000 miles just to get there for that point in time. And they really traveled from one season, so they've just been in cold storage. I'm not saying that storage is not a bad thing, but you want to talk about the health of our ecosystem and our earth. I mean, that's a lot of energy.
The universe cares about one thing: reproduction. And it's always changing, evolving. This is the nature of life in the world, right? We're all fertilizer or food for something. And the plants and the microbes and all organisms are in an orchestral creation. It's neither good nor bad. It is just the direction of the universe. And we're part of its play. And plants and microbes probably control this more than you and I. The light eaters, Zoe Zanger, and basically without sunlight is just on a journey to create life on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, if I may say, I would. Oh, we're going into the page. Okay, but I was gonna say one thing I had in my mind is when my father passed away just over a year ago. I guess it's about a year and a half ago. and we were burying him into the earth, call it 6 feet under, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I want to be fertilizer for the earth. I just want to go in the earth and provide life. And hopefully some big tree or some grass, really nice grass grows because of the life that was there. And hopefully I can help with that. So that was interesting to me.
Where can someone find you if they would like to get in contact with you? And that's why I put that.
Oh, okay. Yes. I go by all one word, no spaces here. James Eats Carnivore. Across YouTube, across Instagram, and TikTok. And that, the headline of my profile is James Primal Lifestyle, because I do believe a simple lifestyle is optimal for humans. Eating just meat is optimal for humans. That's simple. Getting out in sunlight is simple for humans. That's optimal. Having some functional movement is simple for humans. That's optimal. Going to the gym, for example, for 90 minutes and doing X number, 10 number of workouts can work, yes, but that's not simple. I just think just do some simple functional human movements.
Yeah, I mean, is going to the gym a requirement for anyone's health in life?
Absolutely not. And
Right.
clearly because of our modern disease structure in the world, yet we have the most number of people applied to a gym or subscribe to a gym.
All right, let's hit it, Alia.
All right, here we go.
It's really great having you here today, James, and keep your journey going and sharing your beautiful ideas and energy. And we're all on our way for fertilizer and food. Let's make ourselves the very, very best for all of our brothers and sisters. And let's again invite all of our vegan, vegetarians, Mediterranean, pescatarian, carnivore brothers and sisters together as one, because we are all that one thing of beautiful God's energy of the universe.
Congratulations, Bride's Biscuit. What do they need to do to claim their prize, Alia?
Email me. You have my email, but it's alia@drkiltz.com, and we will get you a giveaway. Congratulations. Thanks for playing. There we go. All right, everybody. It's been awesome. Thanks for being here.
I'm on my way to the operating room. I love you guys.
Bye, Dr.
Thank
Kiltz.
you.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a